This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the Bahamas Telecommunications Company announcing a massive investment that will improve the quality of cellular service in the country. As Megan Shepard reports, Grand Bahama figures prominently in this upgrade.
BTC Chairman and CEO of Cable and Wireless Line, Phil Bentley, on Grand Bahama to announce a $1 billion investment project. Project Marlin, as it is dubbed, is expected to take place over the next 3 years and span across all of the company's networks. But Bentley says a significant amount of money and focus will be dispensed across the Bahamas. One of the main areas of focus will be the mobile network.
Our money where our customers want it spending, and what they want is more reliable network for our mobile calls, and we've been investing heavily in improving our mobile reliability. We are starting to fix the issues, and we're seeing drop calls come down and reliability improve significantly. So that's one big area where we're investing. And actually in Bahamas we have LTE networks, which are the fastest in the region, and we've got to make sure we get that message out to all our customers. So we're spending money in mobiles, in the mobile, what we call mobile leadership. We're also spending money in what we call fixed and mobile convergence.
Now, CEO of BTC, Leon Williams, says BTC has already received its first share of the cash, and that will go toward much-needed mobile upgrades on the island. He says customers should begin to see improvements in reliability, but the process is expected to be completed by the end of the year.
Let me say that we got some $65 million a couple of weeks ago from Phil Bentley to make the start of the investments here in New Providence to address the very same 4 areas that he was speaking about, particularly the mobile networks and in particularly the drop calls that have plagued you so much. So we hope that between now and Christmas we will complete the installation of some 28 cell sites in the Bahamas. And particularly in Grand Bahama, there are additional cell sites so that we could increase the capacity here in Grand Bahama and the coverage in Grand Bahama.
While the BTC network is being upgraded, Vice President of the Northern Region at BTC, Talbot Colley, says his primary focus is customer satisfaction.
Said it all. I think from a strategy perspective, from an investment perspective that you and Leon spoke to, I think the other linchpin is the people and the teams, and to motivate our people to get behind that strategy, to maximize that investment, to engage our customers at all levels, from the business community, the government sector, all of the financial sector, etc., and to motivate and inspire our people and align the resources so that we can deliver the quality of service that our customers are demanding in the Northern Bahamas.
A number of other improvements are in the works for the Bahamas, including BTC TV. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Improvements to the healthcare system in the Western District may have hit a snag. The deadline for the implementation of extended hours at the 8 Mile Clinic has passed, and some residents are not taking it lightly. They are calling for answers to what they describe as a vexing situation. Joan Davis-Roll reports.
A packed waiting area at the 8 Mile Clinic, indicative of the demands which continue to be made on services at that West Grand Bahama facility.
We were here from 9 a.m. this morning, and we're expected to be here up to 3 today. Yeah.
It's a very long time.
Yes, it is. It's a long wait. If you didn't get breakfast, you're in problems.
It's been long before they could get service sometimes.
With this increased demand, the question many residents are asking is, why hasn't the Public Hospital Authority extended the hours at the 8 Mile Clinic, as announced by the Managing Director of the PHA, Herbert Brown, more than 1 month ago?
The hospital clinic is closed for renovations, and most of the people from that area is down here. Plus the fact it seems to be very crowded from time to time, you know, and maybe they need to implement and stay with the extended hours until the hospital clinic is completely repaired.
They should go up to about 24 hours and having this clinic open up. Just in case a person gets sick and the ambulance may take too long, and probably they'll have them right there on time. They'll be here on time, that's all, for service.
They do need to extend the hours because now there's going to be a higher influx of locals coming down for treatment. Yeah.
For George Curtis, there's another bone of contention that he says must be addressed.
I believe you need an ambulance here, plus the fact I think you should have some doctors and nurses who live on the premises to facilitate the people in this area, because 8 Mile Rock being the largest settlement in Grand Bahama, it's greatly needed.
Residents all agree that the hours should be extended here at the 8 Mile Rock Clinic and that it will happen sooner rather than later. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Joan Davis-Roll.
Now, ZNS News contacted the managing director at the Public Hospitals Authority, Herbert Brown. He says the redevelopment of the Hawksville Clinic has forced a delay in the implementation of the extended hours at the 8 Mile Rock Clinic. Brown says he has been advised that work to the Hawksville Clinic will wrap up in about 7 days, and says he will then make a definitive announcement regarding a new date for the introduction of the extended hours. Meanwhile, he has confirmed that the district medical officer for West Grand Bahama, Dr. Sally Taylor, is now in place, but he says the PHA is now awaiting the arrival of additional medical staff for the 8 Mile Rock Clinic. In other news, the Grand Bahama Port Authority continuing its week-long seminar on the pending value-added tax. Today's session was designed for business owners from the shipping and transportation sectors. In this report, licensees are sharing their concerns about the new taxation system. Many licensees of the Grand Bahama Port Authority attended the value-added tax workshop. On Thursday, professionals from the import, export, shipping, brokerage, and transportation sector were educated on the tax, which will be implemented come January 2015. Many were pleased that GBPA has put on such a forum.
Very informative. I'd like to thank Mr. Keith Worrell for the information that he has given us. Going forward, I guess it is a new program and something that we have to get used to in the Bahamas and the changes that it's going to make.
The seminar was needed to dispel all the concerns that companies or individuals may have about how that would impact their business or the country.
I think there's some good information in it, but on the other hand, I think there's still a lot of information that we don't have yet that we actually need at this point.
Many admit that they had their fair share of concerns when it comes to VAT. For some, the seminar cleared up any misconceptions, but still there are those who are still left with more questions than answers.
Cleared up things that I had in mind, which, we all have that fear. It just cleared up the fear. So really, I don't see it being a problem, not at this point.
Right now, we're at the education phase, I guess you can say, when I think we should be at the procedural stages. Customs brokers should know exactly what procedures are going to be.
But participants believe that it is very important for Bahamians to educate themselves on value-added tax, adding that not knowing contributes to misinformation.
As long as you don't understand it, that's your fear right there. I would say once you come in, sit down, and learn what's going on, that takes away that fear.
We're not the first country, to have to incur these types of things. I mean, and many of us travel to the U.S. and we understand the tax, we pay it, and without any problem. So now we are in the same position.
These participants say attending forums like this one and becoming informed is important, and they're leaving this advice.
At the end of the day, it's going to help with business practices, small or large. It's going to encourage you to have better records and to understand what it means to have those records and where it could take your business. And shying away from it, it's definitely not a good thing. I mean, it's not going to help you in any way, form, or fashion. You're not going to get away with anything. So it's better to educate yourself about what it is so that you can understand the advantages of it.
Well, unconfirmed reports reaching our newsroom say water woes at the Freetown Primary School has forced the closure of schools. ZNS News spoke with several parents in the Freetown community today who told us that they have had to keep their children home because there was no water at the school. Now, there is no city water in that area, and reports say water is supplied to the school by a pump. Now, we were told by some residents in the area that the pump has malfunctioned and is in need of repairs. We contacted the Superintendent of Education for the district, who said she will make an official comment on the matter tomorrow. Meantime, residents of Grand Key still coping with a water crisis. For almost 2 weeks now, that community of the mainland of Abaco and north of Grand Bahama has been rationing water. And at some periods during the day, residents say they are unable to access the supply. Now, we spoke with Philip Beneby, Bahamas Water and Sewage Manager for the Family Islands, who confirmed that there is a problem. He says a leak in the water tank is to blame.
I think it may have been part of the construction in terms of the concrete, because it's leaking at the base and the water was flowing at the base of the tank. So it may be some weakness in the construction of the base, that is the concrete. But without taking an outline and going in there to see that, I can't be accurate, quite accurate in terms of exactly where it's coming from, but from all indications, it's probably some weakness in the structure of the concrete base.
Now, Beneby says work on the leaking water tank should begin by the weekend by a Florida crew. He is satisfied, though, that the water pressure and overall water supply should be fully restored by early next week.
We expect that all of the repair will be done and we'll be back online latest by Monday or Tuesday morning. Once we have about 10 feet of water, which really is about I would say 15 to 20,000 gallons of water in the tank, and that's and as we make additional water and the residents take it in a rationing environment. Plus the leaks, we are holding our position there. So the island is out of water per se, based on my information, but we are in a rationing position.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues right after this.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Dolly Madison, Freeport's original home center.
Musicians, churches, nightclubs, Radio Shack is now stocked with heavy-duty power amps, powered speakers, subwoofers, cordless and wired microphones, lavaliers, guitar strings, drumsticks, skins and accessories, guitar and bass amps, DI boxes, crossovers, line conditioners, percussion instruments, clarinet and saxophone reeds, PA systems, mixers, routers, hard drives, sound cards, tablets, MacBook Pro power cords and adapters, and so much more at the new Radio Shack at Dolly Madison Home Center.
Come on down.
Use the sun to power your home and reduce your electricity bill by 80% or more. The Northern Bahamas Utilities Company Limited is your leader in solar installation with experienced certified technicians to handle all your PV systems and solar water heater needs. Make an appointment today and we'll be more than happy to have a member of our sales team meet with you. Call toll-free throughout the Bahamas at 242-225-0766 or email us at info@nbutilities.com. The Northern Bahamas Utilities Company Limited. Smart, innovative energy management.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Today is World Food Day. Every year on October 16th, this observance is held in honor of the founding of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations back in 1945. Jack Hayward High School celebrating World Food Day with a display of food items under the theme, Feeding the World, Caring for the Earth.
World Food Day is all about promoting food security, especially now VAT is on stream. I know a lot of persons here will be practicing backyard gardening. It's all about, I said, promoting healthy lifestyle at the same time, and that's why we're here. I'm here doing it for the first time, promoting it here at Jack Hayward High.
Now, principal of the institution, Yvonne Ward, says the agricultural food production in our country is so important, and today's observance is the beginning of something great for the school.
World Food Day is very, very important because we need to let our young people know that growing their own food is going to be something, it's going to be a must. And with VAT coming on, you're going to pay that extra for the fruits and vegetables that we now purchase in the food stores that are arm and a leg already. And so they're going to have to learn how to grow their own food. It's going to also let them know that they need to stop wasting, because we have a lot in the Bahamas and we do waste a lot. And there are so many people around the world who go hungry every day. And so it's going to sensitize them to those needs as well.
Vice President of the Grand Bahama Cancer Society, Edward Pavey, taking a look at cancer-related issues while addressing the Rotary Club of Lucaya's weekly meeting. Pavey sharing some startling statistics, which shows that Grand Bahama has the highest rate of cancer per capita in the West Indies. He says at the Free Cancer Care Center in New Providence, Grand Bahama also has the highest number of patients seeking medical care.
Another statistic is that the Cancer Caring Center is mostly occupied 90 to 100% of the time, and of that occupancy, 80 to 90% of those occupied there are Grand Bahamians. Wow. We use the Cancer Caring Center. The Cancer Caring Center, because of its nature of existence, is only for the use of persons in need from the family islands. No persons in New Providence are allowed the benefits of staying there, because they live there and they should have their own proper housing and care there.
Now, Pavey also took time to address concerns regarding the funds raised by the Grand Bahama Cancer Society.
Bahama Cancer Society raises funds we are part of the Cancer Society of the Bahamas. All of the money raised on Grand Bahama stays on Grand Bahama. There was rumor going around earlier that all of the money raised here ends up going to Nassau. That is totally false and incorrect. We pay a small amount, $500 annual dues, to Nassau main branch, but everything else stays here.
The Hope Gala Ball, one of the Grand Bahama Cancer Society's largest fundraisers, will take place this Saturday, October 18th at the Grand Lucayan Ballroom under the patronage of Prime Minister Perry Christie and Mrs. Christie. And finally, in news this evening, a partnership forged between the Ministry of Education and the Sir Charles Hayward Library, putting primary school students on the cutting edge of technology. Fourth grade students from Hugh Campbell Primary School are the first group to benefit from this initiative, which enables students to gain computer skills at no cost. Executive Director Geneva Rutherford says she is pleased that the library is able to assist schools on the island.
We're hoping, of course, to give all students a common ground on when they're doing research, how to access, how to cut and paste, how to do basic things on a computer. We know that many children are quite comfortable, but if their school had a lab, they would get so much more. We've also chatted with them about assisting with their library, actually taking books to them, hopefully with the assistance of Urban Renewal, but that's in the discussion stages, because as we now have books going to the east end of the island through the High Rock Urban Renewal, we would like to do the same thing in West Grand Bahama.
Well, Corporate Grand Bahama is playing a role in this initiative as well. Senior Mistress at Hugh Campbell Primary School, Udell Roberts, says the ministry, the Sir Charles Hayward Library, and the Royal Bank of Canada should be commended for this effort.
We're delighted for the Ministry of Education to have given us permission to come and visit the Sir Charles Hayward Library here with Mrs. Rutherford, and indeed the children at Hugh Campbell. This is a great opportunity for them to come and see what the library is all about, so they can become members of this library. And we are also indeed thankful to Royal Bank of Canada for allowing students on Grand Bahama to be a part of this initiative.
Well, students from Holmes Rock and West End Primary Schools will also benefit from this learning experience. And Bishop Michael Eldon School placing second in the 2013-2014 ZACME National Engineering Design Mousetrap Competition. President of the Bahama Society of Engineers Northern Division, Remington Wilshcombe, is excited about this achievement. He says the society enjoys supporting young Bahamian students, especially in ZACME.
We're there because we're there to support you guys in the ZACME program, because you have something that be encouraged. That's the goal, to be an engineer. You show the skills, you show the knowledge, and you show that that's what you want to be, and we look at that and we try to develop it.
Bolshcom also presented the Rotary Club of Lucaya with checks totaling $2,000 as a token of their continued support in the SACME program. Rotarian Dennis Knowles and SACME coordinator for Grand Bahama congratulated the all-male team for their second place finish. The student's physics teacher was also presented with a check.
Mr. Villajar, would you come up? It took a while, but we're going to be presenting today 3 checks for the second place finishers of the 2014 SECME National Team Championships. Congratulations, sir.
Well, the 38th annual SACME Summer Institute was held June 21st through the 28th at the University of Alabama at Birmingham. St. Paul's Methodist College also participated in the competition and finished 6th in the high school division. Well, that's a look at stories making news this evening. Stay with us to check on sports when we come back.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Sports. I'm Ricardo Lightborn. Tonight we're dedicating sports to Phil Tynes, who's celebrating, and also C.J. Leary. Both of these guys are members of the Bad Boys Club. You know where I'm going with that, right? Well, down in New Zealand, heavyweight boxer Sherman Tank Williams took on native Joseph Parker for the PBA and the WBO Oriental heavyweight title. Well, 3 News down there in New Zealand has some highlights for you from the fight.
Tough. Nice left hand by Joseph. Missed the right hand. Grazed the nose, but get the attention of Sherman. Uppercut, right hand! And Sherman has to hang on in round 3. Jab in his face is following up with that left hook you just saw there. Now he's looking to throw the right hand as he taps with the left. And the right hand either upstairs, right there! 3-4 punch combination, and 3 landed hard. Right hand, solid shot. He gets Joseph Tynes up. After the belly punch, Joseph behind the head.
Coming into the ring, and again he set that up with that left hook to the body. It's obviously something he's worked on. He ate that right hand, and another one.
3 or 4 right hands in a row, and he goes down. That's a slip. Joseph was able to gobble it up because it just glanced off him. Joseph comes right back, slim knee shots, the uppercut, and again Tank Williams has to hang on. He felt the power of Joseph Parker's speed. You know, for David and Dean to be able to get opponents. Look at this! Joseph lands a good shot. He caught him and staggered him for just a second. But he's had to hang on. Now the left hand is coming down. The right hand is there. Joseph hits him with the right hand. Back up with the uppercut. Left hand downstairs. Against these punches that Joseph is landing. Another solid right hand.
That one he felt, that right hand.
Body shot. He's ready to go. He's on his legs right now.
For your winner, by unanimous decision, and still the WBA Heavyweight Champion, the WBO Oriental Heavyweight Champion, Joseph Parker!
Downstairs.
Well, folks, let me tell you, Tank simply took a number of shots and also, but never went down. The 20-year-old Parker is now 11-0. Tank, who is actually now aging at 42, is sitting at 36-14 as far as his career. I'll tell you, a tough one there for Sherman Tank Williams. The Grand Bahama Softball Association Championship continued last night at the Plex. Portside Flyers, Candace Wolverines. So let's cross the line. The fans in the stands for this one. It's the ladies' finals. The Portside Flyers ace Narissa Lockhart Saunders off the mark early and hits the first batter. Narissa then settled down and went to a money pitch, the change-up, and she gets the strikeout. Lockhart Saunders in the box. The lazy Bluke base hit to center field for the Flyers. Bonique Cooper will now follow. Base hit to left field. The Wolverines fielder with the error and the extra base here for Cooper. The next batter in the box. The fielder's choice to shortstop. The safe play, get the out at first. A run will score for Portside. The Canada's Wolverines, sitting on a 3-1 advantage in the series, played tough and got the outs. The coaches had their game plan and the players needed to be kept abreast of it. Wolverines' bats simply told a story. Base hit to right field and they now had the momentum. Then came the miscues for the Flyers. Ball to the right side, another error, and a run will score for the Wolverines. Patrice Duncombe, the batter. Tracy jumped on his high fastball and drove it to deep left field, over the fielder's head and all the way to the fence. 2 runs will score on the plate, and Patrice will go into second with a stand-up double. Narissa can't believe that the defense is falling apart. The resident took exception and bared down and recorded the K. Next batter, routine fly ball to center field. Routine, not so routine. Portside Flyers giving up another run. The Flyers needed an out. The high heat and the bleeding will stop. Portside Flyers needed to get back on track down to the Wolverines, and a fly ball here on the play. Narissa in the box again, base hit to the right side. Runners are moving on the play. 2 runs will score and a 16-12 game in favor of the Wolverines. Flyers manager Yvonne Lockhart realized it's not good for a ball club. The Canada's Wolverines won the series and took it 4-1. They've now got a trip to the BSF National Tournament October 31st. Well, the men games 5 between the Pats Uniform Reds and Control Chemical Sweepers did not play last night. A protest of Game 3 was heard, and the outcome did not sit well with the Reds players, who refused to take the field, so the game was awarded to the Sweepers. Now, the Reds still leads the series 3-2. They're going to try and play Game 6, and that's going to be Friday night. But that's it for sports. For Tank, a tough one there, and to Morley Fowler, this one was for you too.